on the upper right corner. Ooh, no.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Go to ISAST. Click on your name, yeah, and then go to edit site. And now let's go to your the GitHub. Oh, you got the iPad. Now let's right click on that. Save as desktop. And now let's go back to this. And let's say load. Okay, and now let's view that, refresh that, and look at it.
No, it's slightly off.
So there are you can adjust the position if you look at the index.
Oh,
you
nice.
can find out where things are and you can move things. I just want to make sure that we all get that
My
result.
internet seems to be really here for some reason.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Oh, if you join the SFAI, it's open.
Oh, that's it.
There's no password. But the,
Okay, you got NICAT too. Awesome.
Here.
So we're going to try another step. And so I want you to look at,
Yay.
oh sweet, you see it.
Yeah.
So now let's look at step 7. It's very similar, but what we're going to do is, instead of using a primitive like a cube, we're going to start to actually use objects. So there's a Google Drive folder that I linked to.
So I go back here.
Go back to the GitHub repo, yeah. Let's go to 7. And now in the Google Drive folder, there's going to be 3 files. HOA OBJ, HOA JPG, and HOA MTL. Download those 3 to your desktop and put them in your NeoCity site, just like you did with NICAT. Now, these files are 3D meshes and the textures that they use. It's HOA, the 3 files, so it might be easier. And then you're going to want to replace the code with the code that's in 8. Go back to edit your HTML index site. No, it's on that window, the file called index.html. It's in that, your folder, yeah.
Sorry, where is it?
It's okay, it's above
Oh,
9,
it is.
or, yeah, there it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So you erase this.
And replace it with the code that's in 8.
This has a problem.
It's having a problem? Okay, and what kind of problem?
But it still works though.
It still works, but what's the problem?
I'm gonna check. It doesn't say what is the problem.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, it works.
Yeah, it works. It just says if there's a problem.
Oh, it's, yeah. Every now and then, the AR is still, the framework's a bit weird, especially when loading objects. But
Bugging.
yeah, there's ways of preventing that.
Yeah.
But now we should get.
Let me see.
See,
Okay, so we get a little Easter Island guy laying down. You can go ahead and you see this line that says rotation -90 in your code. You can change that to 0 and it'll make them stand up. So that is your 3-dimensional space of where this object loads and how we load it. Okay.
You take a picture and now we run it?
Now there's one last thing I want to do with this,
No.
which is step 9, I believe.
Screen shot.
It's not actually in the actual things. If you take pictures of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just always by default. So it only happens in the website.
Interesting.
And for 8, really all that we do here is we add something, we add a line. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. I'm sorry, 10. 10 is the one that I wanted to talk about. So if you look at the code of 10, all what we do here is we take the object that we're loading and we add an animation inside of it. So if I put this inside of my NeoCities, oops. Then I will get my Easter Island guy rotating. So, okay. Do we see an Easter Island guy rotating?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Now here is your task with the last 25 minutes. If we go back and we look at what part 2 is. Now, there's not enough of us, so we don't need to pair into groups. But the idea here is that you are going to document a monument of the past, of the future, of the present, whatever you want to. Now there's a lot of great resources that you can use to load objects. I linked to Sketchfab here. It requires signing up. It's really easy. You can go through your Google. But this is also where I downloaded that object. So if I wanted to even go into Tomb, or if I wanted to even look at what monuments look like, I could even say things like free. There are filters for cost. It's an ecosystem, so everyone's selling things. But if I wanted like this cemetery model, now you can see here, this object right here, I can download both, and I just want to make sure that I have 3 files, the JPG, the OBJ, and the MTL. So what I want you to do is either download and sculpt with existing models that are there, or start to take primitives that exist, such as cylinders, planes, spheres, and map them with textures that you want. So it can be as simple as a box with the appropriate textures to signify what you want to signify. Once you're done with that, usually when I run this exercise, we run around and we place the heroes out in space and we screenshot them and then share them back for a gallery. If we have the opportunity to do that, that would be amazing. So if you can get solidified with what you want to show, or you could just email it to me after this. I'm happy to work with you that way. I would try to keep the things that you use, that you load into this, pretty small in file size. It works best if it's under 10 megs. A lot of these things you can see get really big and start to go all over the place. Some of them are entire worlds or environments. There's also another one, if this aesthetically doesn't fit you, there's poly.google.com. And this is Google's version of this, which you could go ahead and say like mountain And it's built in this kind of simplistic approach, and it's polygonal. Like, how do you use polygons? But it's a little easier to implement. So work on that for a bit. Just, I would say, spend 5 minutes picking something relatively small, and then maybe play with some properties of it, and make sure you get it working with your hero code.
You think the human body is comprised of just billions of primitives?
No, I don't think we work. I don't think organics work in primitives. I think primitives are a computational construct.
Okay.
It's the way for the computers to understand the world.
But even in protein structures, they're on a subatomic level.
I think so, but I think you don't like really get, like, I still feel like it's not as well defined. Like, there may be like energy forms that cause certain things to happen.
Yeah.
But like, does a cube exist in nature? Does a cylinder exist perfectly in nature, or a sphere? Do the things that we think of as building blocks, do they really exist? I think those are a lot of things that we use to kind of work backwards with the computer. Think, how do we make sense of the world? Like, all computer rendering is based on polygon count.
Right.
And it's just because that is the mathematical way for going into kind of